Go get your coffee for GHC Coffee Break this morning. Joining me will be Philip Gaffney and Brandon Harrell. We'll be right back.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to GHC Coffee Break. It's really good to see you this morning. I hope you had a chance to get your coffee. Joining me today is two of our wonderful coaches at Georgia Highlands College, Philip Gaffney and Brandon Harrell. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's been, we're off to a really good start this year. I know that the new year's ringing in, and so I thought we would just kind of talk about, I think first, Coach Philip, if you don't mind, just talking about the athletic program in general, and then let's really talk about our boys basketball and our girls basketball.
Well, everything's going great right now. You know, we started this about 5 years ago. Brandon was my first hire, so I think that was a good thing.
I think so too.
Because we've been awfully good. He's done a phenomenal job, so pretty good hire there. I enjoyed that part. But we've been having the basketball here for 5 years, and down in Cartersville, softball and baseball, and they've done very well, equally as well as we've done. So it's pretty exciting. We hope maybe someday to expand with the program. And softball and baseball did play a fall schedule. It doesn't count, but it is good for them to get started and see who might be on the team for the spring when they actually play. Okay. In fact, our softball team plays a lot of major Division I schools. They'll play a Florida State, a Florida. They'll play a lot of big-time schools.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of fun for them to, they don't count, but it's how you get better. And then Coach Harrell and I, we've started the very first day of school. We've been practicing way back in August, limited. And then in October, we go full bore. We can practice every day if we want. And playing games since November. And so it's a real long season for all of our sports, but especially for our basketballs.
Yeah, I've really, I love all sports. Basketball is probably the one I know least about. Thank goodness we have a colleague, Donna Mantooth, that knows a lot more than I do, because boy, she'll call him on it, and I thought, okay, I just followed Donna's lead. But I definitely would like to see some expansion too. Girls volleyball or wrestling, any kind of things like that maybe?
Well, you know, we have to get approved now by the state board, so we just can't decide what we want. We have to actually go get it approved. But initially, in our initial plans, volleyball in Cartersville was definitely one. And I don't know if you've seen the beautiful courts out in our Floyd campus. We've redone all the tennis courts. Yes. And so we'd love to have tennis. And, and 40 schools go and run cross-country meets on our campus. We have a beautiful around the lake. Yes. So it would be great if we could have a team and do it as well. Finances play a role. We just did get an activity fee, a student activity fee, athletic fee passed last year. So it is helping alleviate some of the budget difficulties we have. So I think once we get financially right, well, we can go to the state board and say, hey, we would love to add a couple sports. And tennis would be great in that tennis and cross country, it's a little different socioeconomic background. The person who plays basketball may not be a tennis player. The person who plays baseball may not be a cross-country runner. So it's kind of given a lot of opportunity to more students. And so I think down the road that is something that we would love to have, but we will have to get approval for it.
Yeah. You know, I was just pulling in two that my grandkids do, of course. My grandson wrestles and my granddaughter plays volleyball. So, you know, I have
that would be great, yes, yes.
I'm thinking ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Jake's a freshman in high school this year, so.
We got 4 years then.
That's right, to get a wrestling team. And I think that would be great. But like you said, I do realize, but I know that there's a lot of good sports out there, and it's really nice that Georgia Highlands has taken this as serious as they have, because I think for me, athletics adds so much to the student environment. I just see students, and we're trying to get them more involved in the basketball games, of course. Since I'm on the Rome campus, that's where I tend to gravitate towards. But our cheerleaders have said that they would like to have a competitive cheer team, and I said, okay, because I really like the idea of being considered athletes themselves. So I think that there's a lot of work that and opportunities that can open up to the students.
And I don't know if the folks out watching say, no, what a great job you've done with the cheerleaders. And Brandon and I, we talk about it in the office all the time. It's amazing what our cheerleaders have done. I know all the hard work you put in, and Donna Mantooth.
And Aaron Kingston.
And Aaron, and
yeah.
we're just blessed because it adds to the whole environment when you go to a game, and you guys traveled with us to Gadsden State, which is hour and a half away, and girls just doing it on their own time, amazing. And so it's added to the whole fabric when you walk in the gym and you see the folks there, and then to have different things going on that David Mathis does, and to have the cheerleaders.
David is awesome.
It's great. So you should be commended for the outstanding job, and Brandon and I both appreciate it.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you. We all are enjoying it. One of the things like I said, we're kind of looking first, like to chat about the overall athletic team plans, and then also we'll get, of course, into our favorite part of our basketball games and basketball team. What would you say has been the most challenging aspect of being the director of athletics?
Anytime, and this is the second time I've come in and I've been able to start a program, but it's just, there's no tradition. I mean, Georgia Highlands has been here for 30 years or 50, I don't know how many years.
30 plus, yeah.
Yeah, and there's no tradition. And so when you're out recruiting, and I know Brandon's run into this too, you know, hey, you want to come to Georgia Highlands College? What? Where's that? And they have no idea. And so we have to go out and educate them and try to tell them, hey, we're building something here. You can be a part of something special, something new, and it's going to be great. And it hurts us a little bit recruiting, because sometimes they're like, well, I don't want new. I want established. I want tradition. Right. I want something that's already happened. I don't want to be the guy on the ground floor. So usually the coaches on the ground floor are the ones that get fired. They're not the ones. And then the people who come in after them, you know, build it. But we've just been fortunate. You know, Brandon's first year, we were ranked number 6 in the country.
Which was amazing.
And I've never, at any NJCA school, I've never seen any sport ranked as high as number 6 in their initial year. So I think Brandon, certainly on the women's basketball side, set a precedent. You know, that's a record. So that was unbelievable. And, you know, with Brandon winning like that right off the get-go, I think that established us a little bit, gave us a little bit of credibility. And now our other teams have started to win as well.
Right.
And so now there's a credibility. But the biggest challenge is establishing, you know, an identity. Who is Georgia Highlands? What do we stand for? How good are we? What level of basketball are we? What level of baseball? You know, is it a fun product to come and watch? Do I want to invest my time and energy into it? And just getting it off the ground is always a difficult experience.
Yeah, there was a young man. I was up there during your practice before the game. I think it was Saturday, maybe. I can't remember. I think it was Saturday. And looking at Georgia Highlands, a potential basketball player, him and his family, I believe.
Absolutely.
I met him, and I tried to make an extra point to saying, hey, this is why Georgia Highlands is a great place for you to be, not only athletically but academically as well, because I think it does give us, I think our academics really do provide a great opportunity for our athletes.
Absolutely. In fact, we had 3 recruits, and we actually signed 2 of the 3 on this past week. So we're pretty excited about that. But absolutely. In fact, the number one thing we talk about when they come in, I don't know what Brandon talks about, but I know he talks a lot about this because I actually bring my recruits to him. He's also our academic advisor. And so Brandon will do all the graduation schedules, and he puts them in their courses and their books, and Brandon's heavily involved, does a phenomenal job with that. So we have all of our kids come in and say, hey, we expect you to graduate, and Brandon's going to be one of the resources that'll help you. But we talk about academics first and foremost. You are going to graduate. And to go on to play at a Division I school, like several of our kids have done, you have to graduate. You can't just come here and screw up. You got to graduate. And you have to graduate with a 2.5 GPA, which is not necessarily super easy. So we have them come in, and we talk about the phenomenal faculty we have, all the resources we have. Jennifer Hicks down in the tutoring lab, and what a great job she does. And our faculty goes out of their way to make sure everybody graduates. they stay extra. I can't tell you how many wonderful people we've had. Georgia Highlands, Georgia Highlands really has some wonderful faculty that really go out of their way, and so it makes it easier. And we actually have the students come meet with the faculty often. If they're a business person, hey, here's Bruce Peterson, or criminal justice, here's Greg Sumner, you know, whoever it happens to be. And they've all been wonderful about meeting. Dr. John Hershey used to meet with a lot of our people as well, and get them involved with Brother and things like that. So the academics plays a huge role because we've really sold that.
Yeah, I think that's, and that's what I like about, like I said, I think the athletics add to our academics because people need a break. I mean, you're intense, you're studying, you're doing all of this as a student, as a faculty member. Let me tell you what a blessing it's been for me to have a reason to take a break. Because, you know, up until this year, I sporadically hit basketball games because it was depending on my course schedule. But it was always, okay, I'm so tired, I'm ready to go home. But to have something that has been very positive from my experience so far this semester and this year, to have something fun. And I think it really helped me step back and say the athletics are as critical, maybe not quite as critical as academics. We've got to get those academics, but pretty critical in the atmosphere of the college to have students involved, actively involved in student activities and athletics in particular.
Yeah, and like you just said, it's the atmosphere. What is the experience? Do you just go to your class and go home?
Right.
Or, you know, John Speranza does a great job on our
Yes.
campus, and Lyric and the other campuses about, hey, come in here and you're getting involved with your classmates, you're getting involved with the different clubs, you're getting involved with the athletic program, whether you're broadcasting the game. You know, we have people who broadcast the game who've been students. We have the 6 Mile Post comes, they're students that
Yes.
write about it. We've had the band come in the past with Sam Baltzer, and they've had students, and then obviously the cheerleaders, and then
And the dance team from Cartersville.
stat people. So we have a lot of people, managers that are involved with it quite a bit. But you're right, it gives it an atmosphere. You know, Georgia Highlands, is it a real college? Yeah, we're a real college.
Yeah.
You come up there and there's things to do. We don't have dorms yet, and once we get dorms, hopefully Dr. Green's listening, that once we ever get dorms, he'll kill me for saying that. Then I think it will be totally well-rounded. But athletics gives it a great, just that experience to go there. I can root for a team. I can wear my Chargers t-shirt, and I give my mom a Chargers sweatshirt for Christmas, or they give me a present or whatever. And it just gets us out there in the community. Because when we first started, it was funny. David Mathis and I went to Walmart one day, and we were in Walmart, and I knew we had taken off when I saw that kids were wearing Charger t-shirts. And they had been to a camp or something, and they had GHC Chargers, you know. And so it made you feel pretty good, because I think when we first started this, if you said, what's GHC's nickname? Georgia Highlands nickname, they wouldn't know it. And now today, the Chargers, you see it on billboards, you see it, you hear it on the radio, you see it on TV. So now I think in the newspaper, so I think we have an identity now.
Absolutely. And which to me is good, and I feel guilty. I have a really nice shirt with my little Charger on it, but had a couple of shows to tape today, so I said I'll just not have to change clothes.
Brandon and I made sure we wore ours.
I see that, and very nice looking shirts, very nice looking logo as well. And I think that's again, like you said, the identity. In fact, my husband, he saw the girls warm up. The camouflage blue. He said, well, at first he saw y'all's warm up, and he says, oh, I want one of those. And then he saw yours this past week at the game, and he said, no, I want the blue one. I said, I'll work on that. I don't know how but he loved the blue shirt, and I've gotten him a couple of shirts that said like GHC basketball and stuff. So I think that really does. We live in Bremen, Georgia, but still it gets people in Bremen and Haralson County to know about us too. So
absolutely.
That's an awesome thing. Well, I'm going to wrap up this segment in just a moment, and when we come back, we're going to talk specifically about our basketball program, if that's good with you guys.
Sounds great.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, get your coffee, and we'll be right back with GHC Coffee Break.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals.
With opportunities outside of the classroom,
where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits to a bachelor's. My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college offers courses that fit my schedule.
It's where excellence begins.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to GHC. I hope you had time to get your coffee. Joining me, as I said earlier today, is Coach Phillip and Coach Brandon, whom I've really enjoyed getting to know better this year. We really appreciate your support for the cheerleaders. Of course, I'm a little prejudiced. I like my cheerleaders. They've done a really good job. But Brandon, we'll start with you. Let's talk a little bit about our girls basketball team and how things are going and some challenges and some things you hope to see coming up in this year.
Well, we haven't gotten off to a good start. We've ran into some injury problems, and it has been a challenge. It's something that and we've had injuries before, and but next week I think we'll have our 4th surgery of the year already, and we've had some other little things happen. I can remember actually doing an interview with Joshua, the 6 Mile Post, back in September, and he said, well, what's different about this year? And I said, well, knock on wood, this will be, I think, the first year since I've been at Highlands that depth will not be a problem for us. We're a deep team, and I think the basketball gods didn't like me saying that, and so they really rained down on me pretty hard, rained down on us pretty hard. So, but I think we're getting healthier. We got a chance to get a couple back, a couple players that will make our team better. So we've got one more game before Christmas break on Monday. And then hopefully when we come back in January, we're going to be a little better. And
having going to the, whoever said basketball is not a contact sport, I think we need to have a chat with them.
Well, basketball is a contact sport. It's not a collision sport.
Yeah, well, I've seen some collisions too, but it amazes me that how contact it is, and it's very athletically. I look at the cardio of it. It's just the cardio of it is amazing too. So they have to really be in cardio condition.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's why basketball was invented. It was a way to keep the football players in shape during the winter. So by nature, that's in the roots of basketball. So. And I think, personally, any athlete should play basketball because you work on so many skills. There's so much hand-eye coordination, the cardio, just the athleticism of playing the sport and getting up and down the floor, being able to do things with your right hand and your left hand.
Pat your stomach and
right.
rub over your head.
It's to me, it's beneficial to any athlete, especially young kids. I think all young kids should play basketball, but it's a tough sport.
Yeah, really, and I like I said, I've really enjoyed it. But you told me a story I did not know. I did not realize that's how basketball really originated, was to keep our football players in shape. That's an awesome story. I did not know that. I'm going to put what I learned today. Every day I try to write in my journal what I learned today. So you gave me something. I appreciate that. And I have really enjoyed watching the girls play as well. As you said, that they're out there and they're going and they're working hard. I've seen y'all in practice. Let me tell you, nobody can disrespect the practice. So I appreciate that. I've really enjoyed it. Well, Coach Phillip, it's your turn. What about your boys?
Well, and I'd just like to say about Brandon. Brandon's
Please.
Very humble, but his teams have been at the top of our region every single year. They're one of the top 2 teams every single year, nationally ranked pretty much from the get-go when we first came here. And when I got hired, I said I hired Brandon, and I did hire him as academic advisor, but as basketball coach, he had an undefeated year the year before in the conference. So when I had a chance to come into this state of Georgia and then asked around who's a great basketball coach. And they said, well, this guy down South Georgia Tech's a great guy. In fact, he went undefeated in the conference.
Oh,
well,
wow.
that's who we want.
Yeah,
that's
of course.
the guy we want. So we were able, very fortunately, just a matter of circumstances, to get Brandon up here. So he's very modest, but he's built us into a national power. You know, they made the Sweet 16 last year and played the #1 team in the country and should have beat them. We were the only team that even gave them a game. So we were clearly one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country last year. And so he's worked very, very hard, and his assistant, Demetrius Colson, they do a great job together. And they did a great job South Georgia Tech, and they've just brought it up here.
Oh,
so.
I totally agree. And yes, I can tell you're a very humble person, so it's okay. We'll brag on you. And we'll brag on the girls because, like I said, I know that there's been some injuries, but they were out there playing hard. And it's just, you know, making that come together is I can only imagine the challenge. Not being a coach as you are, you know, it's very rewarding, but at the same time, it's tough. It's a tough job. I've watched you practice. I admire it.
And it's tough when you're used to being a huge winner, and you know that's all Brandon's done here. And now he's been dealt these setbacks where every day it's a new injury. So just keeping the team together like he's done is amazing. And you know, hopefully a couple of these girls get back. You know, and obviously most of them aren't, but maybe we can get a couple of them back, and then. You know, just watch out at the end of the year because you never know what can happen in that tournament.
And I'm looking forward to it. I honestly am. It's been, it still amazes me that how, like you said, the hand-eye coordination, some of the things that they do, and just dribbling the ball and walking at the same time is a big challenge for me. So yeah, so thank you, Brandon, so much. We appreciate our girls. And that's the thing, you know, we want, the guys get a lot of attention too, but we want to make sure that the girls are getting just as much attention. So
absolutely.
So how about our boys?
The boys have been very fortunate, and again, I have 2 great assistant coaches. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. Actually, I have 3, but Jonathan Merritt, J.J. Merritt, is a local star here at Shorter. He's in the Hall of Fame, all-time leading scorer. Loves Rome, Georgia. Loves being at Georgia Highlands. And Matt Williams, who's also a great recruiter, and then John Williams is our 3rd assistant. And they've done a great job of knowing how I want basketball to be played and the style that we play and recruiting athletes to that style. And they've really become immersed. They teach our system better than I teach it. They've just done a phenomenal job. And because they've been able to recruit great players and because they've been able to acclimate them to our system, we've had a lot of success. So, you know, we went to the Final Four 2 years ago. Went to the Elite 8 last year, and of course we got the team we played using an ineligible player, so they gave us a Final Four. Our winning streak kept going, but we didn't get a chance to play for a national championship. So of course that was awful, but that happens. But we're not complaining.
No.
And right now we're in the midst of a 47-game winning streak, so that's pretty historic. You know, and there's no team in the country other than I think the UConn women's team that has won as many games in a row as we have at the college level. So it's really a tribute to, we got a really nice group of kids who work very hard and a really good coaching staff. So we're ranked 3rd in the country right now, and we're just knocking on wood. We just hope we can keep it going.
Yeah, as fast as the girls were, when I watched them, the guys, they move fast. And I swear, I think y'all put, you remember that old movie, Flubber?
Yeah.
I know I'm aging myself really bad.
I know that movie too.
Yeah.
Fred McMurray.
Oh yeah. And then The Son of Flubber came out, and it was the basketball team. But I swear, the way that some of them guys fly up in the air, I think, who put Flubber on their soles of their shoes? Because it's amazing from a standstill how literally some of them jump as high as I'm tall.
Well, and again, that's that's our system of we run and we press and we trap in the half court, and a lot of anticipatory skills, and got to be super quick and super athletic to play. You don't have to be as tall. You just have to be super quick, super athletic, and fast, and being able to have great reactions at the time. And our coaches, Matt and John, they just JJ, they do a great job of recruiting those kids to our system, and then they do a great job of teaching our kids that system in the preseason. and doing the different drills, so that now when we get into games, it's just second nature. It's like brushing your teeth. They know what they have to do, and it's so easy because they've been conditioned how to do it.
And that's what, like I said, what amazes me on both girls and the boys team is that it's like, how do they know that that person's going to be right there? And 9 times out of 10, they are right where that ball's going when they're passing it. And it's, whoa, how did they know? You know, it's almost like a mental telepathy. It's so well organized and it's choreographed.
It really is. It really is. And we, both the women and men, all coaches, you take a lot of time and you go over and over, and all that hard work we did back in August and September when it's 90 degrees out and we're in the gym sweating our tails off trying to get stuff done. And then you hopefully see the fruits of your labor in November, December, and really in March. No matter what we do now, it's March is what really counts. That's when March Madness is. That's when, if you can win your tournament, you can go to the national tournament. And so for us, it's in Hutchinson, Kansas, and that's all the goals, all the junior college teams for the men's side is let's get to Hutch. And we've been fortunate to get there the last 2 years, and we're hoping that we get there again this year.
Well, my cheerleaders are trying to figure out how they can travel with y'all. I mean, they're wanting to go, and they're starting to try to figure out some fundraisers. And I think that'll be really cool if they can arrange that. So March Madness may be a little bit mad for us too.
That would be awesome.
That would be great.
But and traveling, I know they travel in December to Gadsden with you guys, both the ladies and the men's team, and they really did get a lot out of that. I want to definitely, before we have a couple minutes left of the show, but David Mathis, I know he couldn't be with us here this morning, but David does a wonderful job as far as getting the halftime shows, getting people involved. He's phenomenal too.
David's behind the scenes on everything, and he's as much. We've been super successful in the athletic program. 3 of our 4 teams have been nationally ranked. We've gotten to Final Fours and Sweet 16s, and nationally ranked. 3 of our teams being nationally ranked in such a short amount of time. It's really unprecedented. And people look at Brandon and I, but really David's behind the scenes. David's as responsible for our athletic program success as anybody. And he's not the kind of person that would, blow his own horn.
No, absolutely
But he does a phenomenal job. The holiday tournament will be up this weekend with all the different high schools coming. They've been doing that for 50 years. David is a big part of running that, certainly at the Georgia Highlands. He's involved in everything, and I just can't thank him enough and give him enough credit for everything that he does.
Well, I've got to wind it up, but I give both of you, our whole athletic team, a lot of kudos and really appreciate the addition you bring to Georgia Highlands College. Get your coffee and we'll be right back.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
All right, welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. I hope you enjoyed your time with us, with Coach Brandon and Coach Phillip. I'm going to put you on the spot. We're going to take us out program with you saying as many national basketball players as you can name, and y'all just take off.
Well, I'm not a LeBron fan. You can go with
LeBron James.
So one
Sure.
going back and forth. I'll go with Carmelo Anthony. I'm a Knicks fan.
Steph Curry.
I'll go with Derrick Rose. I'm still a Knicks fan.
James Harden.
Oh, he's a good one. I'll go with Dwight Howard. I like the Hawks too.
I got to go with a JUCO kid, Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder played at Brandon's school.
Oh, okay.
So that's a very good one. Who's the other? Oh, Jimmy. Who's the one from the Bulls that was a junior college kid? Jimmy. Butler.
Jimmy
He's
Butler.
he's another junior college player that played on our level that's playing in the NBA right now.
Yep. Oh man. You gotta go with Hawks. Dennis Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder's a good player. He's a good player. Can't think of any other JUCO players that are playing.
Yeah. You go back in the old days, Bud Webb. Latrell Sprewell.
Oh yeah, Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
A lot of former junior college players.
I'm gonna hit Carly from the Global Harlem Globetrotters.